try this again.
You're live now.
It's live? We're gonna try this again, ladies and gentlemen, because what's weird is we've got full signal on all 4 of our devices right here.
Right.
So I don't know if it's us, because I'm not of the YouTube brain. It's working there.
Yes, it's working. Okay.
And it actually looks good.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're gonna try this again. So ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you are ready for another exciting and soon-to-be classic edition of Big Family Homestead Rocks the Sunday night live stream.
Yeah.
Woo! Boom, 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 boom.
Oh my goodness.
Is it working better now, guys? Because it is on our end.
Yeah.
Hey there. Okay, say hi to everybody again, Mama.
Okay.
Let's try to get off on the right
Woman
foot.
Homestead, homesteading in the city. S. Federley, Connie, Sunshine, Mindy, TH24, Melanie, Tightwad Christian Outdoors, Cecilia, Deep South Texas, Donna Hoffman, Jan Anderson, Bayou Sunshine, My Revival, Jilly Girl, Mike DeFazio, Prepster Bob, Jennifer Franks, 180 Degrees from Average, and many, many more.
Good evening, folks. We hope that you are having a blessed time where you're at.
Yes.
I have got a list of things, and I've practically worn this sucker out already. It's barely holding on. So I don't know if I give it a snap, it might just come apart.
I would not do that because it's kind of humid.
Yeah.
Okay, not kind of humid, but it is a little bit humid, so the paper is kind of wet.
Yeah, and like I said before, we don't know what's going on, but there's like firework explosion sounds coming from across the lake.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's going to be a beautiful sunset.
It's Labor Day weekend.
Do they do something there?
I don't know.
Maybe it's just people partying. Partying like it's 1999.
That's true. That is true. Real quick before we move on, Vicky has a question about bread making. I use a couple of different stainless steel bowls. The one that comes with my KitchenAid is a 6-quart, and then I have another one that is probably 9 or 10 inches deep and about a foot around. So it holds quite a bit of dough. So I'm not exactly sure how much bread you want to make.
Left field?
Well, it was a question she came up with. So.
Well, you got her list.
Ow.
How can you not?
She
You gotta
wrote it
stick
in
to the
all
list.
caps. She wrote it in all caps, and I didn't want to disregard her comment because it was right away.
If they write it in all caps, you have to take notes.
You have to answer.
Fine.
Fine.
Fine. Anyway, so okay, the update. The ladies got haircuts. They look very beautiful.
They can't.
They can't see you unless you stick your face over here. Ah, she's got to get her glasses on.
Oh,
She has hair, but your hairstylist was not exactly the most professional.
No, I will never go back to her again. She was terrible.
She had different big lengths that were not
big
cut.
chunks, like 20, 30 hairs, and it was crazy.
Susie says, no list, Brad. Susie, you don't know what you're asking for, because when I go off the script,
Oh my God,
things get nutty.
it's crazy.
There is no trail. It's not, hey, well, let's go on a rabbit trail. There is no trail.
No, there is not.
You got to have the list to keep them separated. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
Got to keep them separated. All right. So, okay. Why don't you talk a little bit, Claire, if you want. You don't have to. You'd have to stick your face over here again.
About what?
College visit.
Here, sit in my lap.
College visit.
Well, I was disappointed, to be completely honest with you. Sorry, I'm trying to moderate at the same time.
I got it.
Okay, so I was disappointed because I went to this 2-year technical college that is kind of like a junior college, which, if you don't know what a junior college is a 2-year school where you can go and get your generals done for whatever career that you want to go into, and then you transfer to a 4-year university, and then you get your degree. So I went to this technical college that also had the ability to get generals done. However, I went and only a few classes would transfer. I think it was only like 3 or 4, and I would only be able to go there a year, and then I would transfer to a 4-year school. But it would not be financially wise because very few.
You'd have to redo it.
I'd have to redo almost all of the classes.
Yep.
But.
So, okay, there's the update.
Okay.
Back to your station.
Get off my lap.
Okay.
Of course, she kept my legs warm.
Well, we do have some more college visits happening, not this coming week, but the week after.
Yes.
And, well, also, Claire's valiant, I don't know, steed?
You're going to call him a steed?
No.
Her boyfriend.
My knight in shining armor.
Her friend, who is a boy.
My boyfriend.
My boyfriend?
He is gone away.
Yes. No.
To the west.
He went yesterday.
He left yesterday to go to
Don't tell him what.
a college in Wisconsin.
Hey, Trucking It Up has an excellent question because he's right on the money.
Right.
What happened to the midwife doing thingy?
Okay.
Just
Okay,
lean in,
I'm
they
just
can
gonna-
see you.
Just sit behind us.
There you go, you be in the middle.
Well, you see, I don't exactly know what happened particularly. I just didn't feel like it was really my calling anymore. It didn't feel like that was something I wanted to pursue. And it was more of a gradual thing the more I learned. And then all of a sudden I just didn't have that desire anymore.
Well, you did a work experience last year at school,
Yeah.
and it was with the preschool class.
Yeah.
And it was only for the semester, right?
Yeah, it was second
Yeah.
semester, but nobody else, that was the one class that nobody else was doing because the lady asked me, she said, what work experience do you want to go to? Because you could choose.
Right.
And I just said, you know what, I'll go to the one that nobody else picks, that has the least amount of people and that needs help. And that was the one that I was chosen to be in.
Right.
And seeing where it goes.
Yeah.
I'm being loud.
Not loud enough.
So there we have it. Now, let's see what else. Oh yeah, I wanted to say hello to Amy Tanaka from Japan.
Oh, excellent.
Very grateful you're
Awesome.
here. All right, so okay, daycare is hard work.
Yeah.
Actually, little known fact, Mama and I both worked at a daycare center.
Mr. Brad,
Mr. Brad, Mr. Brad. And it was
It was so fun.
it was a lot of fun, but it was also pretty heartbreaking because a good amount of those kids, over 60%, did not have a dad in the house. And so they really liked when I would, you know, play with them and, you know, not be rough, but, you know, you dad fun,
Right,
dad
right.
fun, you know, where you're not, you know, just sitting in color and stuff. You're doing things and playing
Yeah.
football and do that.
Right.
And it was heartbreaking in that a lot of the kids did not want to go back to their moms at the end of the day because it was fun.
Well, you had fun with those kids too. Okay. There were a couple of little boys
Who are our
just-
favorites?
Who were our favorites?
You
And-
always have favorites.
Yes, we
Always.
always had favorites.
Yes.
And they were just the sweetest little boys, and Brad decided to be silly and teach them
a couple of
names-
words wrong.
the names for certain items incorrectly. So a truck was not a truck, it was a banana patch. What was something else?
That
I
was
can't
the only one
That
I
was
can
the only
remember.
one? Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was quite comical, and the kids were just awesome kids.
And I
loved it.
figured that that was not going to be like lasting damage or anything. That Mom would say, no, it's a truck. I don't know what you're
Right,
talking
right.
about.
I mean, those kids are now 25 plus
Yeah.
years old. So
Yeah.
I'm certainly hopeful that they don't believe that a truck is a banana patch.
I also
Lasting
wanted to
damage.
make the, not the point, or I don't know what word I'd use. I guess I want to reinstate something. A lot of you are thinking that I want to be a daycare director. I'm actually going to school, well, I will be going to school hopefully for elementary education because I want to be a teacher. So I'm not,
Right. She's not going for daycare or early childhood education. She's going for elementary education so that she can teach, what is it, grades K through 4? Or
K
5.
through 6.
K through 6. So she likes the younger, like pre-K, kindergarten, but she's going to go for elementary education.
There you have it.
Yeah.
In a nutshell. All right, moving on. Oh, this is such good news. We have saved up enough money to get an engine for our truck that died.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so the plan is we're going to get a used motor that has a guarantee on it, and we're going to hopefully get that in the middle of the week and start working on pulling out the old one and putting a new one in. So that's just really awesome. And also, well, the Edgar Steam Show.
That was fun.
Talk about the Edgar Steam Show.
All right, so in Edgar, Wisconsin, every year they have a steam engine show where there is demos of all of these steam engine tractors. And they are using the PTO off of these steam engines to run threshers and sawmills and what is it, a combine that grinds up the corn. It's a fantastic display of all of these different engines. Then there's hundreds and hundreds, well, I wouldn't say hundreds and hundreds, but there's hundreds of vendors that come, you know, like flea market style, or they bring their the stuff that they make, or you know, stuff that they sell,
or even garage sale
stuff, whatever. But it was a load of fun. What else?
Well, we got to hang out. There's a video of this if you didn't catch it.
Right.
But we got to hang out with a guy named Adam. What was his name?
Yeah, Adam.
Adam.
Yeah.
And he was a young man,
So
probably
smart.
25 years old-ish.
Yeah.
And wicked smart when it comes to all the steam engines and tractors. And he actually has totally like the persona to be in front of the camera.
Oh yeah, he had no problems talking in front of the camera whatsoever.
Yeah.
He did really, really great. Oh, so Jake Joke VV says, so Edgar is a town. I thought it was some guy.
He's just really into steam engines, that guy. You never know. So that was a lot of fun. And other than that, we are really, really trying to lock down a lot of stuff, getting ready for winter. And it was kind of funny because the garage sale video that we put out earlier today, I found at a garage sale an old, has to be maybe 50s.
Maybe 50s, 60s.
Maybe a heated wire tape. And it's unopened.
It was unopened, and it's pre-barcode, so there's no barcodes on it at all.
And it's all, it looks like the old stuff, you know, the plugs, and there's even a fuse light and all that.
Yeah. So.
But I did get a warning. Somebody who was one of the viewers said, she said, I deal with asbestos all the time in her day-to-day work. She said, be careful because that may have asbestos in it.
Ooh. Yeah, I was just thinking, you know, it's so old, it could catch a fire. It could catch fire.
Well, we'll test it extensively before we use it.
Right, right.
But my goal would be get it around that pipe out in the barn, because that froze over mid-season last year, and that was a pain in the butt.
January it was frozen.
Yeah.
So we had a heat lamp in there. We closed the door. It was, and we had some insulation wrapped around it. It was nothing. Didn't do anything.
Well, yeah, and just some funny stuff on that heated tape is that it had to be old, just for the one simple reason that on the printing itself, they had these little what would be viewed as very unsensitive pictures of Native American Indians.
Yes. Oh yeah.
And it was like, oh my gosh, this does. Yeah. I mean, now today you'd go, this would never. This company would have been sued a long time ago.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, but that's been a fun.
I'm just thinking, where in the world did these folks hide this thing?
For that,
that long, unopened. The package looks pristine. I mean, it's you can tell that it's old, but it's not torn or anything like that. So it was in a box or something for a long time.
Yeah.
Goodness.
BC Truck says the only thing I hate worse than winter is nothing. Nothing is as bad as cold weather.
And that's why you live down south, BC.
Yes, and he's just, well, you got to go watch BC Truck's channel. He's an adventure every time he's on the camera.
No kidding.
And I kind of like it. By the way, his name's Brad. So Brad, we're in great company. But sometimes when he gets really, you know, a subscriber who's just a nasty tick.
Oh my goodness.
He lets them have it.
He lets them have it.
And
he will not put up with their nonsense in any way.
I got to tell you, Brad, I know that's
so
not very kind of me, but I kind of like watching that happen.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Because it's, you know, when you got a channel, there's going to be some people that are just going to rub you the wrong way, and they're persistent, and we just bite our lips as content creators.
Yep.
We just bite your lip and just shut up and just try to ignore it. But every once in a while, he says, "Nope, I'm going to let you have it."
And he goes on a 20-minute rant, and I love it.
It is pretty funny.
Yeah.
So if you want to live vicariously through BC Truck, go and watch some of his videos there. So, okay, it has come to that portion of the evening, ladies and gentlemen, where it is not only allowable and permissible, it is encouraged to shout out any channel that you've been watching, any channel that you like, any channel, even if it's your own, especially if it's your own. So I'm going to go ahead and give the green light. Chris is going to read as many of those as she can. And on your mark, get set, type, type, type like the wind, bullseye. Go, go, go. Critter Kid 12. Is yours behind?
Yes. Oh. Critter Kid 12 just showed up.
You want to hold on to this one?
No, it's okay. Out of Goshen, Abuela's Kitchen, homesteading off the grid, Big Family Homestead. DG Homesteading. Homesteading in the Sticks. Arms Family, Thinking of Others. Out of Goshen, Nomadic Fanatic. Gypsy Woman Homestead, Grass-Fed Homestead. Rain Country. Prepsteader Bob, Life in Farmland. Really Big Monkey One.
That's awesome.
The Adaptive Maritimer, Living on a Dime. Truthification Chronicles. Say Perfect. Filer Family Farm. That's a new one.
That is an interesting one.
Yeah. Indie Project, Fundamental Home, Bobblehead Homestead, Crazy Days, Resistance Chicks, Switch TV Show. Interesting.
Dizzy Stitches.
Dizzy Stitches.
That sounds
That's
fun.
Great.
Sounds
Savvy
fun.
Coupon Shopper. The White House on the Hill.
Freaking frugal. Oh my gracious.
Taco Stacks.
All right, hold on. You guys can keep typing, but I wanna let you know who our channel shout out of the evening is, and before I tell you, I want to tell you why. And this channel is one that we're starting to get to know on a friend level, and it's been really cool getting to know these people. They've even been over to our house, and they've got cute kids.
4 cute kids, honey.
Wicked smart kids.
Wicked smart.
Wicked smart.
Yeah.
And I just basically wanted to give them another shout out because we want to see them do well, because their content is great and their family's great, and that is
180 degrees from average.
And they're in the chat today.
Yep.
And so if you don't already subscribe to them, do me a favor and open a new tab, and it's 180 degrees from average. Just go ahead and sub to them and watch a few videos. If you like what they do, great. If not, we'll give you double your money back guarantee.
Yep. They have a very similar likes that we do.
Weird sense of humor like ours.
Humor, yeah. They talk in movie quotes like we do.
Yes, we do.
They're straight up white and nerdy like we are.
White and nerdy.
Yeah.
That's a Weird Al Yankovic parody, which is awesome.
Right, but
that is awesome.
Oh, you can barely hear me. Sorry.
Did they get their prize from the contest yet? Yes, they have. Yes. They actually elected not to have me make an intro, but to come and hang out. And we're still gonna, make them an intro if they want one. But it was just he really wanted to just pick our brain.
Yeah.
And that's great. I love. That's the funny thing. I'll tell you something interesting about the homesteading channels. There are, and it probably is the truth with all channels just in general, but there's this attitude that, you don't want to let anybody in on your crowd, and you don't want to let any of your secrets out or what you're doing, because then other people will get your subscribers and other people will get your views. And I have never thought that, because the internet is humongous.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And every day it grows. And so for me to think, oh man, I got to keep all my secrets and don't tell anybody what we're doing, that's silly. I want to see the homesteading, prepping, self-reliant farming crowd grow. And so that's why we do these promos.
Yep.
That's why what other channels you know, hey, shout out all the channels that you like that are not ours.
Right. Why would we do that if we didn't want anybody to, you know, go to other channels? And, you know, we don't have the market on everything.
Oh, good ideas, yeah.
Yeah, we don't know everything. Trust me, we're learning still.
So,
you know, 7 or 8 years in, we're still learning.
So there is that. Now here's the thing. One thing that we have had to do recently, which we've put off for quite a while, is, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but a lot of the self-reliant channels are getting their content dinged by YouTube. Whether it's demonetizing the content, blocking the content, or just not promoting the content like they should. What?
No, go ahead.
And so it's been a real problem because there's a lot of topics that I would really want to talk about, but you can't, because they're just going to make them go away, or they're never going to be seen, or they won't put they won't let you guys know on the notifications, even though you have. And so we've started shifting some of our content over to Patreon, and that's none of the religious videos, like, because we do a lot of Bible devotions. All of that's free for everybody.
Right.
But we just feel like, since YouTube is not allowing us our voice, that we're going to start putting more stuff over there. But don't think we're leaving YouTube, because we're not.
No, we're not.
But there's a lot of content over there that YouTube would just say nope. And so we're adding to that daily, just to give you ideas on what some stuff like politically charged ideas and thoughts that are conservative, because we're conservative, obviously, and stuff like Second Amendment things, news stories that happen. We're going to be talking about those things, and we just know YouTube has not allowed that. And so if you want to check out some of that stuff, there's a link down below for the Patreon thing. Now, before we get on to our main topic, which I'm excited about this topic, tell them about the meetup.
The meetup. It is the Homestead Fall Weekend? What's it
Homestead
called?
Fall Festival.
Homestead Fall Festival. It is in Hayward, Wisconsin. Did you put the link in there for the meetup?
I did not. We're going to make an official video that will come out tomorrow that'll give you the specifics on the whole thing.
Okay, so the weekend, the Homestead Fall Festival is September 28th, 29th, and 30th. You can elect to camp on the, setting up on the 28th. We're going to do a bunch of fun stuff on the 29th, and then checkout time is on the 30th. So we will be there on the 29th because we can't stay the whole weekend because we have animals and children. So
and animals and children. But one thing that's super important to know about this too, because there's a lot of these festivals or meetups popping up all around the country. This is free.
Yep.
There's no charge for anything, not even the camping.
Not even the camping. It is completely free. The only thing that's going to cost you is your food for that weekend for you to bring, and the way to get there. It's going to cost you in gas to get there. But anything there is completely free.
Yep, and it's in Hayward, Wisconsin, at the Weekend Homestead's place.
Yep.
And it's gorgeous.
It's a beautiful place. He's got 160 acres.
Yes, and we're bringing ATVs. There's gonna be breakout sessions. We're gonna do some educational stuff where I know for a fact that we're gonna have some bigger channels that are popping around there that we're gonna be able to do, some one-on-one. This is how we do this, and demonstrations and all kinds of stuff. But before I forget, there's a question that kind of ties into this whole thing. Yeah. Alicia D says, what happened with the Getting Faster Unlimited Internet? They came out and they tested it, and they said that the only way that they could do it is if we put up a tower that gets above the tree line, then it would work. And so, maybe we can scrape together some money in the future and get that, because I would love to be doing daily devotionals. I would love to be doing stuff more, better, the whole nine. So.
And going back to the meetup too, we have a page on Meetup meetup.com set up, but not all of the information is on there yet because they changed a few things from last year. So we're working through that bit. But in the video, we'll have the link, so because you have to sign up. You can't just show.
Mattia64 says you can greet me. I'm Italian. I wouldn't know how to say hello in Italian, but I can say hello to you specifically.
Hello.
Hello. What's with that black robed dude with the sickle behind you? You know what? This is funny, guys. This is really funny. Where we are, if you can see, well, obviously you can see the cemetery.
Yes.
And then there's a road here, but right behind this tripod, we're on a dock. And then there's water right there. And so we forgot some stuff, and Mama and Christa and Claire went home to get it. And I'm standing here, and I got 3 chairs set out, and it's a tripod, and there's stuff on, you know, and lo and behold, a DNR agent pulls up. I mean, the guy's got his 9mm here, he's got his mace here, and he's wearing a flak jacket.
Didn't he have a taser? Yeah, he really had a
It was a you know, bulletproof vest.
Yeah, that's what it was like.
But he came over, and I'm like, I said, he's like, hi, and he started talking to me. He was really cool.
Yeah.
He goes, so what are you doing? And I told him, I was like, we're doing this live YouTube thing. And he was like, no way, get out. And I almost got him to stay. I was like, you should come by, and we'll put you on the thing. He goes, no, I'd get fired. I can't do that. But super nice guy.
So I pull up, and he's standing here talking to Brad, and I stick my head out the window. I'm like, what'd you do? And the guy started laughing.
It was really funny because at first I felt like, okay, I got to give him more information so I don't get in trouble. So I'm like, here's my list of stuff, and here's the thing, and this is how it works.
Right.
Because that's got to be weird. Like, you're going to go live on the internet from the dock. So, yeah.
Yes.
All right. On to our topic of the evening, ladies and gentlemen. Right there. Oh, we are talking about rabbits. And Hassenpfeffer. Here's the thing. I was thinking about this today, is that, you know, everybody says that chickens are the gateway drug into homesteading, because once you get chickens, it's like you're fascinated. You're in.
Right. Those little velociraptors are awesome.
Now, if chickens are the gateway drug in, I would wager and suggest that rabbits should be a very close second for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
And we are going to talk about reasons.
Yes, we are. Okay. So you have, it's a really super high return on investment for protein. You can raise rabbits on a fraction as you can a cow or pigs or even chickens. Chickens eat a ton of food. Meat birds eat a ton of food before they get to full size. Where rabbits, they require 4 pounds of food per 1 pound of meat.
Yeah.
Which is, I found that on a website. There's a great resource called azrabbits.com. That was a great resource. They're small. They are not noisy. They're very quiet. They're not too smelly if you take care of the poo. And
there's gold in them dookies.
Gold in them dookies.
Yeah.
And them little rabbit pellets are awesome.
They're delicious.
They are not like chicken poo is a super hot loaded with nitrogen, right?
You've got to compost chicken poo before you can use it.
However, rabbit poop and goat poop you can put right under your plants, right down there.
Isn't that not weird that they look identical?
Goats are just bigger.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It's crazy.
It's little ones.
It's crazy, man.
But also, one thing about rabbits that I love for anybody that's trying to get started in homesteading or self-reliance is that they HOAs, you know, your what is the HOA? It's just
homeowners association.
Right. They can't ban rabbits because they're not agricultural animals.
Right. The USDA does not recognize rabbits as an agricultural animal.
You could even keep them in an apartment.
Yep.
And it makes it so easy for you to have rabbits anywhere because they don't need a lot of room and they don't need a lot of food or even too much. They're just super easy to get started, and that way, the way we look at it is like this. When we were in Cincinnati, we raised rabbits and we sold them all to the local farm store.
Right. We never processed a single one.
We wanted to have them in case things got bad in the country, which who knows when that's going to happen, but I think our days are numbered, guys.
Yeah, you never know.
But anyway, that is a patron topic.
Yes.
But rabbits, we wanted to have them in case we needed to scale up for protein, and rabbits, they literally go like rabbits.
Like rabbits, right.
You can take a single rabbit and make a gaggle of rabbits.
That's
if you got
geese.
one.
Gaggle is geese.
They go nuts. They go nuts.
They go nuts.
Nuts.
But one breeding female can produce enough with her and her offspring in 1 year, 2 cubits of manure.
Yep.
Or is it manure?
Manure. Captain Jesse 1 is asking, are you going to get rabbits again? And the answer is yes. And we actually talked with some people today at church who have them and don't want them.
Right.
We're even getting the cages, and it's just for maybe like a 6-pack of apple juice for men.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, something like that.
Right. Well, and I did some research on this website about rabbits, and you know, I think we did this a little bit wrong with our last set of rabbits. Is it says you're only supposed to feed rabbits once a day, and you're only supposed to feed them at night.
I didn't realize that.
I didn't know that because rabbits are mostly active at night. They do a lot of their sleeping during the day. I don't think they're nocturnal necessarily, but they do most of their activities at night. And you're only supposed to feed them dry females and bucks. And boys. You're only supposed to feed them 4 to 6 ounces a day. So like one of those little tuna cans per day.
That's crazy.
That does not seem like a lot.
But I've got even better news for you.
Yep.
And that is this. When we were doing rabbits in Cincinnati, one of the things that we did, well, we've done it 2 ways. One way was building like a chicken tractor, but a rabbit tractor.
Yes.
The wire had to be a little more, smaller squares. But then you basically have, your 10 bunnies in the thing, and you move it every day. And then they eat the grass, and you only have to give them a very small amount of pelletized food to get those nutrients where they need to be.
Right. And we did this with small, newly weaned rabbits to where they were about this big. They're all weaned from their mama, and they were not of breeding age yet. So we could mix them together, males and females, and to get them to the right age to take them over to the feed store to sell them. So.
And I'm also going to tell you about growing wheatgrass for them if you don't have access to a lawn. But Susie is asking a question that you need to answer about males and females.
Yes.
Because you can breed some rabbit moms and dads. She can explain it.
Okay, you can breed. Let me think. You can breed fathers to daughters, not brothers and sisters. Okay, on rabbits. Okay, don't misunderstand.
Yeah, whoa,
don't understand
that could
me.
get
Okay.
crazy.
So the father to the daughter and the mother to the son, but not brothers and sisters together at all. So that's how that worked.
And it's gross for us to think about it because we think of it in human terms, but it doesn't mess with the genetics of a rabbit.
Joan, we've actually never eaten rabbit.
Yeah.
So
it was one of those things. Yeah. It was one of those things where we wanted to have something that we could scale up quickly if we had to have protein and we couldn't get it.
Right. And they grow really quickly. In just, 12 weeks, you can have a 4-pound rabbit.
Yeah.
So, and it's something else I learned tonight, that if you feed your rabbits too much and they're overweight, your breeding does will not produce. An overweight rabbit might even stop producing. So you got to make sure that they.
People are like, what are they doing?
No, they're running this.
Oh. You got to make sure that you don't overfeed your rabbits.
Yeah.
But another way that we have fed our rabbits is by using wheatgrass.
Wheatgrass.
It is, okay, when you give them the regular pelletized feed, their bodies really only utilize about 20% of that. Now, if you go ahead and you grow wheatgrass, and you sprout it and you get it to where it's like 6 inches tall, and then you give them that, their bodies are going to use 80% of that nutrition.
Yeah, so you have, once, like she said, when it's the wheatgrass is at full peak, they'll eat it way down to like this little hairy mat looking thing. They'll eat everything except the basic roots and the hulls.
Well, and then we give that part to the chickens.
They love that. So there's no waste.
Right.
And so you're feeding, if you've got a good wheatgrass system going, and we have like 3 videos on that, we had really great success growing lots of wheatgrass.
Yeah.
And then you're literally feeding these rabbits pennies.
Yep. It is pennies for these rabbits, and it's amazing.
We use the hard wheat. Was it the hard?
It's just a wheat berry. It doesn't matter what, if you use the hard white or the hard red or it doesn't matter which one. We just used wheat berries. Some folks use barley. You could probably just use a combination of the two, and then you're gold. So.
Yeah, and one thing that's interesting too about wheatgrass, the seeds, the actual wheat seeds, is that they don't need nutrition outside of themselves to get to full peak harvest.
Right. You don't have to put those wheat berries in soil for them to grow. They will grow just on a tray, and those roots will just kind of intertwine with each other, and then the wheatgrass will grow up, no problem.
Okay, Baker Mom, so you can sprout the same wheat berries that you could grind to make bread flour?
Yes.
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 And that's another reason why it's so great for a self-reliant homestead prepper person, because you're going to have that stuff on hand anyway.
Yep. And they don't use a lot. We would take is it a half a cup or a full cup? I think we would take a half a cup of wheat berries, and we would sprout them in a mason jar, and then once they sprouted, just a teeny little tiny tail, we would spread them out in a tray,
which was about 18 inches by 8 or 10 inches.
Something like
Yeah,
that.
donut trays, like in the bakeries.
Right. Donut trays about this big, or you could get smaller ones from the dollar store even, and make sure you put some holes in the bottom so that the water will run through. But you just water that every day, and your wheatgrass will grow up in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I said earlier, then you're talking about feeding them for pennies, because you get them in 50-pound bags. It's easy, and you're just scooping out a little bit. And rabbits do not take long to get to full butcher weight.
Right.
So rabbits, I think, should be one of those things that, if you're like, well, I can't have chickens, well, you can have rabbits. Or, well, I live in an apartment, you could have rabbits. The HOA is going to flip out. No, they can't.
They can't.
They can't.
There's nothing they can say.
Yeah. So consider rabbits for a lot of reasons. And if you have access to a yard, put a rabbit tractor together. There's nothing hard to do. It's just done.
Right.
So I got to turn this camera around, guys, because you're not going to believe what we're looking at here. Hold on to that.
Amazing.
Let's see. Look. Well, that's very beautiful.
Oh,
but take a look at this. Wow. Man, oh man, it's like getting a big old hug from God. Isn't that nice? I am getting eaten by mosquitoes, though, I'll tell you that.
That's why I put bug stuff on.
Yeah. All right, guys, we've come to Q&A time. Does anybody have any Q or A? While they're typing up their questions, I'm glad we normally have been sitting up there in the cemetery because there's a bench there.
Right.
And when we were setting up, there was a family that came and they parked right over there. That would have been so awkward if we're sitting there with the camera going and stuff.
Yep. No, the camera does not do it justice. It is really pretty.
Yep. Amen. Yeah.
God does paint such beautiful sunsets.
Tiger Alley says, sun's setting there and it's rising here.
Nice.
We're watching the same sun. Isn't that cool?
Where are you, Tiger Alley?
Lovely sunset.
Yeah.
Mosquitoes
Awesome.
prefer O positive. Just curious, does your electric bill run high? Do you heat with both wood and electric or gas?
Well, that's the thing. Last year, well, we have a propane furnace in the basement, and we could only heat with the propane.
Well, I need to pause, Mama, right there, because I think a lot of people don't understand. We don't have a mortgage on this house. This house is a lease purchase, and so it's owned by another person, and we're paying them rent with the intent of buying it at the end of the time.
Right.
And the issue is that we're trying to work through all these things before we actually get a mortgage.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So when you may think, well, why haven't you fixed this or why haven't you fixed that?
That's
well, it's not our house.
Right. It's
not
not
yet.
our house yet. So last year we used propane and spent quite a bit on propane. This year we're hoping to be able to put a chimney liner in the chimney because there is a wood burner in the basement, but the chimney has had several fires in it, so we have to have it lined again, and we're just going to use a steel pipe that's meant for chimney liners. So we'll do that soon because winter is coming.
It is coming.
It's coming.
The hawk is upon you.
Right.
Yeah, it was expensive doing the propane thing last year. Very expensive.
Yes.
And what we're hoping to do is mostly wood, and then, in the evening when you don't want to get up at 3 in the morning, then we'll just let the propane kick on at a certain temperature.
Julie, no, the landlord is not going to fix the chimney. The liner is what's going to fix it, and we'll do that.
Right.
Yeah.
We're going to make sure it's all done properly, but when somebody else owns the place, you got to understand they're in a position that they may or may not want to do certain things. It's still their place.
Right. Exactly.
And so we have to just be as respectful as we can and tread lightly.
Yep.
And hopefully things will just work out smooth.
Right. And Tiger Alley is in India.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Wow.
That's really awesome.
I almost wanted to talk about ghee tonight.
Ghee?
Ghee, as in clarified butter.
It's clarified butter, right.
And we learned how to make ghee from an Indian woman on YouTube, and it was awesome. Mm-hmm. We even canned it. We canned it. Yep,
sure did.
So, did you get the French drains dug around the garage? And the answer is no, because once again, that's not our house yet.
Right.
So, generally, when you guys are looking at stuff and you're going, well, they need to fix that. Mm-hmm. It's not our house yet.
Nope.
We're working on it.
Right.
But it's not our house yet.
Right. Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah.
Cody needs some matching.
That's funny. All right, so we are gonna have to say goodnight because it's actually getting quite dark here.
It's getting quite dark, yeah.
And I'm cold.
I am cold. I'm chilled.
So
should have brought a sweatshirt.
How many eggs are we getting each day? About 24.
Yeah, between 22-ish and 27 some days. So it's absolutely crazy. These chickens are going crazy.
So for those of you who know us, know that we are a family of Christian believers, and we like to end the show with just a quick thought and a prayer, but we also are respectful to those of you who may not be, because I don't think it's a very good way to tell you about God by forcing you to listen.
But we would love for you to stay and listen and be here with us.
But if not, we'll catch you next week. But quick thing tonight. I saw a picture of a video that we had done a long time ago. It was a devotional video. And I don't remember where I found the picture, but it was a picture of a dollar bill. And it said, I am only made of I am only made of paper, but I control your entire life.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, on the dollar bill, somebody had written on it, which is illegal, which that's stupid anyway. I'm only a piece of paper, but I control your entire life. And that really got me thinking, guys. It's like, where are our priorities? Where do we put value? And in turn, what controls us? And I can tell you that I've made good choices and I've made bad choices when it comes to the stuff of the world. I'm here to tell you that what may seem like a great, feel-good, I love this kind of thing moment, if it does not honor Christ, it's a mistake. And I think we're heading into a time in the world, in our society, that all of that stuff is ramping up. All those temptations are ramping up. Everybody's at everybody's throat. If you're not on my side, you're the devil. If you're not on this, and everything's just getting ramped up further and further and further. And we really need to know who we are. We really need to make ourselves absolutely laser focused on who you are. And for us, it's our identity in Christ. It's our identity with God, the creator of all things. And I just kind of have this feeling. There's a firework. I kind of have this feeling that we're going to need to be very, very, very sure about our relationships very soon. And so while I'm not going to talk about anything specific, because I don't know anything specific, I'll just say this: it's on my heart daily, and a lot of people that I know, that it's time to start doing some real business with God, really forgiving those who may have wronged you, really truthfully allowing yourself not to be the boss, but God be the boss. And so with that, it's a challenge. It's a daily challenge. So with that, we're going to go ahead and say a quick prayer, and I'll show you the sunset again, because it's gorgeous. Yeah. So anyway, here we go. Father God, thank you so much for each and every one of these people that have come tonight. I ask that you would just show them how much you love them today. Give them a big old daddy bear hug and just let them know you are absolutely special to them. Let them know that they're 100% completely unique. There will never ever be another person in all of history like them. And God created them specifically. You created them specifically. And you have a mission for each and every one of us. Help us to have the courage to say yes to your plan and take those first steps of obedience today. Jesus, we love you. Amen. Let me show them this. Say good night. This is awesome. It's like a fire. It's like a fire in the sky. Amen. You guys have a great night. Hope to see you next week.